Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. On the last episode, we got through a couple of things. We fought another mini-boss, or two actually, sorry, last time, as well as trying to fight a third, and probably not doing so. And then we made our way past a giant snake before stabbing it in the eye and running away even further. And now we have reached the Ashina Castle outskirts, and we are nearly there. Hopefully this episode we will get to the castle itself. There's quite a host of enemies down here, but if you are tactical about it, you should be able to manage. That's them talking about Gyobu again. We've heard that name before from another eavesdropping conversation. Seems like it's a person they really hold in high reverence. We'll have to look out for them. So one of these big guys that we can stealth death blow from here, probably a good idea. Especially if those guys give you trouble. Puts us right next to one of these gun guys, take him out. That spear guy hasn't even noticed us, so we'll ignore him now. Ow. Do try not to get shot in mid-air, it will do a lot more damage. Just like how your shurikens do a lot more damage to airborne enemies. So do their bullets. These spear guys are obviously very vulnerable to Mikiri counters because that's all they really use is thrusts. If you don't mistime it like I did. There we go. That's one. And that's two. There we go. I would advise a more stealthy approach. You can use this ledge down here to get one of the guys here, and then sneak up and around. But I just saw the air death blow and I went for it. Maybe a Rune of Wealth. And a heavy coin purse. Very nice. Gonna take another sip from the flask. Another remnant of our Lord Kuro and Genichiro, who we fought in the prologue, if you remember. There's another guy up here who we can easily sneak up on, and 1, 2, 3, boom. And there's a guy over here. Who we can eavesdrop on. I can't bring myself to take out that guy. He just lost his horse. But he's hinting you towards those firecrackers that we picked up earlier and how they're useful for animals. Some ash there. He doesn't even seem to mind you going past, so there's really no need to mess with him. Pellets. Always good to have. I don't think there's anyone down there other than that one guy with a gun. And as you can see, there's quite a large arena ahead of us. So, prepare yourself for a quite fearsome battle. This is one of my favourite bosses, at least from a design perspective. Gyobu the Demon, who we've heard so much about. As that guy was just hitting us towards, firecrackers are very effective for this fight, and I also highly recommend, if you don't have it yet, getting the mid-air attack from the Prosthetic Tools book of skills, because it's going to be useful in this fight. This guy can be quite the roadblock for a lot of new players. He's quite fearsome, and, well, is on a horse, which adds a whole other element. That's why you want the mid-air attack. You can grapple onto his helmet during certain attacks, and it does a very decent bit of posture damage if you can attack him while he's doing it. So you want that. Including when he turns, which he does quite a lot. It's kind of a necessity. So we're nearly done with his first posture bar. That's one. Use the firecrackers. Make his horse fuck up. Ow! He will do that if you do it though, so be careful. Ow! Youch! Well, that's one resurrection. I'm ashamed to have had to use, but that's fine, that's why we have it. He does a lot of damage after all. Tried to just like that one, but I was going to attack. There we go. Frost attack's doing a huge amount of damage, as always. You can't overuse the firecrackers because he will eventually gain a resistance to it, so use them when you think it's going to be very useful. And we're nearly done with him here. That posture's getting pretty full, but we're getting pretty low as well. I wasn't sure if I was in attack range there. Always good to be careful. And there we go. And we've obtained a memory of him, the fearsome warrior Gyobu Oniwa, who is the keeper of the Ashina Castle gate, and we've also obtained the mechanical barrel, which seems appropriate for our prosthetic arm. Maybe we should take that to the sculptor. As you can see, yeah, tutorial about prosthetic upgrades, we'll get to that. Oh, and that's, I think, just telling us that we can rematch bosses now at the Sculptor's Idols, but only ones that you get memories from. So, Gyobu's so far the only example of such a thing. Lots of experience, that's nearly a whole bar. It's actually more than a whole bar, it's nearly 2. And just looking around the place, you can see how many bodies he has stopped getting through the gate. He was really, well, evidently very fearsome. And, well, he nearly took us out, so we could tell. So, we're gonna, yes, it's telling us here that memories can also be used to enhance our attack power, so that's how you boost that, is by defeating big bosses like Gyobu. And I think that's again telling us about the rematches. Sorry about the errors, it's just from the proper translation mod I had, there are some errors that come up with it, but I think it's mostly worth it. Gyobu Oniwa once led a group of infamous bandits, but was defeated by Ishin, who was so captivated by his show of strength that he took him in as an Ashina warrior. Oniwa would later go on to become Genichiro Ashina's most trusted retainer. And as we saw during that boss fight, there are some bosses that you'll have to do a secondary death blow on to properly finish them off, otherwise, if you don't, they will just keep on going. Ah yes, so that's the boss rematch menu, so now we can go back and refight Gyobu anytime we like, which is a game that really which is a feature more FromSoft games should have. Getting my words all tangled up. So we're going to head back to the temple, because we've got something to give the sculptor. Oh, we've also got a Gourd seed that we got last time that we never gave to Emma, so we can use that as well. Maybe give that to her before you fight Gyobu if you're having trouble with him. Okay, same as usual. We don't have any more Gourd seeds, just making sure. Right, sculptor.
くりつつ忍び義手の真となる仕掛けよ。どれ仕込んでやろう。
この仕掛けで何ができる？
真となるこの仕掛けがあれば筒薬と組み合わせ、お前さんの忍び義手の牙をさらに研ぎ澄ますことができる。
筒薬とは何だ？
からくり筒と共に使う鉄のくず、あるいは炎症といったものじゃな。使えそうな筒薬を見つけたら持ってくるといい。
So it's telling us that if we bring in those materials that we've been finding around the place, we can use them to upgrade our various tools. So let's have a look. We don't have any new ones to fit, I believe. So let's just upgrade the ones we have. Luckily, I've got a bunch of money. If you don't, then you may not be able to do as much as I have here, but that's okay. So we currently are missing the scrap iron needed for the shuriken, which is a bit of a shame and a little bit surprising. But we do have enough for the firecracker. So this lets you charge up the firecracker tool to release more, basically, and surround yourself with them. So we need to get more scrap iron, and I'm not totally sure where we can get that easily, but I'm sure we'll find some. And as for the other one, I believe that was, yes, the flame vent needs also scrap iron and some black gunpowder. It'd be nice if we could find somewhere to buy that. Thank you, sculptor. Right. Oh, I forgot to take the divine confetti off my thing. Right, well, I think with that, having defeated Gyobu, we're probably going to end this episode here, I think. Actually, no, checking the time, we can go a little bit longer. So, back to the Ashina Castle gate. I didn't realise how quickly I went through all of that, so we can keep going. I'm going to head this way. There are stairs leading up here. That, well, they go somewhere. And that somewhere is really quite important. It's a dead guy. And around here there's an item. Scrap iron, perhaps? Nope, it's a ceramic shard. Okay, well, get my hopes up, why don't you? And here we have another shop. Somewhere else to spend our money. Yes, another one of these memorial mobs that we've met before. This is where, up until recently, I thought was the only place you could buy the firecrackers, but as it turns out, you can get them beforehand, which is good to know. There's a Gourd here for 1,000, which I will get. There's a dragon's blood droplet, which we haven't seen before, but it's apparently used for something called dragon rot, which we're not particularly familiar with yet. I'll buy some coin purses just in case. Well, I'll buy a coin purse at least just in case I run into trouble and I don't want to lose all my money. So yes. And then in here is the man seemingly responsible for all these dead guys in purple cloaks.
Shinobi は大概そうじゃ。名乗らず死におる。じゃが、その左腕、忍び義手とは懐かしい。なるほど。石腕の狼か。気に入ったぞ。 ならばセキロ、お主をそう呼ぼう。
お前は何だ。
わしはアシナの天狗よ。おうセキロ、お主もネズミ狩りをせぬか。
何だと。
このアシナにはネズミが入り込んでおる。うじゃうじゃと我が物顔でな。ネズミもいろいろじゃが、それを片端から切り捨てるのよ。どうやらお主にも人斬りの才がある。その才を磨くのに役立とう。どうじゃセキロ、ネズミ狩りをせぬか。
Seems like an interesting proposal, why not take it?
承知した。
よし、セキロよ。ならばこれをくれてやる。
Rat description. The rats, assassins from Senpo Temple. We've been there, that's where the demon bell was. Short stature, they wear bamboo hats. Number of rats are lurking about, last seen around Ashina Castle gate.
ネズミの顔、それと巣穴じゃ。切ってまいれ。さすればお主の戦に役立つものをやろう。
Alright. Seems as though we've gone a little bit of a side quest of sorts. There's also a woman back here.
へえ、あんたが生き残ったのかい。鬼の刑部様もやっと屍になれたかの。けれど何も変わりゃしないよ。戦は続き、屍は積まれ、怨嗟ばかりが満ち満ちる。あんた考えたことがあるかい。そういう怨嗟はどこに積もっていくのかを。ないだろう。ないだろうね。だからこそあんたもあやつも哀れなことだよ。
Okay, well that's odd. Strange old woman. And we get a shortcut back to the place where we came up from before. There was a barred door that stopped us coming in here before beating Gyobu, but now we can head back anytime we like, not that we really need to, because there's a sculptor's idol back there.
さあ、もう行け。ババが何を語ろうが戦はなくならない。あんたのお役目も変わらない。そういうものだよ。
Alright, well that's cheery. Now, that's almost everything that's here, but we do want to head up here, and there's a grapple point that you can see, and where there's a grapple point, we must grapple. So, you get up here, and then you want to walk around the edge, and then I don't remember the best angle to approach this from, but I think it's here. You want to kick up onto this plank, run over here, open this chest, and there you go, another prayer bead. We're only one off from having another full set. And so we're going to head back down, jump down, don't take full damage, head out, and I suppose continue on for now, actually. Yes, I think that's fine. So, we'll have to keep an eye out for those rats that the Tengu was talking about. Or those so-called rats, I doubt he means that literally. I'm gonna want that in a little bit. Just one guy guarding the gate behind Gyobu. Feel like you could have had a few more people, but I suppose they weren't expecting Gyobu to lose. And then over here we've got quite a bunch of them. I suppose they understood that advice. So there's 2 over there, and then if we wander over here, there's a guy and 3 dogs. So we're going to take out the guy, and then the dog should be no problem. I don't have my shurikens on me, actually. That's a problem. That's kind of the best weapon against these. There we go. feels mean, but it's the easiest way to do it. And then there's only 2 of these guys, so we run up. We can actually sneak get that guy, because he has no eyes, apparently. There we go. Easy peasy. Ceramic shard. I want to keep heading forward. Oh, there's a guy down there who does actually notice you. It's best to just get him. There we go. He goes down to 1 thrust. Very simple. Now, there's a few enemies up here, including 2 of those large guys. So the way I'd suggest approaching it is getting this guy without anyone noticing. And then typically, there's a guy just around the corner, but you can rush out fast enough to get this big one without him noticing, which is the important part. So... oh, it was a close one, but we made it. And now it's just this guy. Realistically, we could just run past him, but... ow! Maybe we should have. And then we run away from this, because he's just going to tire himself out. And that's that. Now, just as before, you're going to want your firecrackers ahead going up. Well, you're going to want your firecrackers going on ahead. Because, as I said, they're good for all bosses, but this one especially is one that you're going to want that for. Another eavesdrop opportunity. As they're talking about some sort of monster they've got on their side. Well, we'll have to see about that. But first, just take out one of these guys. Doesn't matter which, they're both pretty easy to deal with. The gun guy goes down to 2 hits, and the spear guy goes down to a single Makiri counter, so whichever you prefer. And going on ahead, you want to be careful. This is not the easiest thing coming up. Take out this guy. And then... the Blazing Bull. Only 1 death blow, but not to be messed around with. He will typically take out those guys almost immediately for you. But as those people said back there, it very much does not discriminate between friend or foe. It takes a lot more damage in the head region than the body, so you want to aim there, but of course that's also on fire, so best to be careful. Ow. There's every possibility that I will lose this fight because I'll be honest, not that good at fighting this guy. I realised now I forgot to equip our better shurikens that we got, but oh well. Ow. As you can quite obviously tell, this guy inflicts the burn status. That makes sense. Ow. We've got that dowsing powder, might as well use it. It also increases your resistance to the status for a bit, so that's welcome. If you can use a thrust attack on the head, that will do very good damage. And attacking the head enough times will normally cause it to stagger, like it just did. The thing you want to be careful with this guy is that oftentimes, even deflecting an attack perfectly, you'll still take some damage. And there we go, its posture's filled up. And there we go. Not the easiest fight. And that makes our 4th prayer bead and another rank of Shinobi medicine, which means even more healing from our flask, which is most welcome. You guys are opening the gate thinking the bull has calmed down. Little do they know it's dead, but, you know, sometimes you just miss a Makiri. I was going for the other guy, but he was invincible because he was opening the door. but they're shocked we got past the bull. To be honest, so am I. I didn't think I'd do it first try. There we go. Sort of embarrassing that we went down to that guy, but oh well. There was an old lady here. We'll get to her, I think, probably next episode. I think I'm going to end this one here. So we got into Ashina Castle, as you can see from this sculptor's idol. We enhanced our physical attributes because I remember to do that. And we got past Gyobu and the bull. In Ashina, there is a towering pink ogre of a man, said to have gone red-eyed and run amok before he was long shut away in a forsaken dungeon. Oh, fun. But yes, we acquired several things, we met the Tengu, and now we're here, and next time we are not going to be continuing here because we've got other stuff to do. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next episode.